My name is Sonia Leone. I am a graduate student here in SCAD in advertising. I also have a YouTube channel targeting the Latino market. So I always found myself watching blogs and watching YouTube videos, which is not like the traditional entertainment platform, what you do. So I guess my question will be like, how do you compete with these new ways of entertainment that are actually absolutely taking over what you do every day?
From my point of view, we wouldn't compete. I think it's important to embrace and be open-minded. And I think if you try and wall off your business, that's just unrealistic. So for us, we embrace it. And like I said, give consumers the tools to find your great content that they can lean into and enjoy, along with all the other linear, VOD, etc. We call it universal search. We're not all the way there yet, but I think that's a core principle.
Yeah, at Hulu, we, in addition to well-known names like Amy Poehler, J.J. Abrams, we've partnered with some YouTube talent, notably Freddie Wong. He did Video Game High School, and he's with Rocket Jump. So I think we see YouTube as that farm system that we spoke about earlier. So that's one way we're trying to take advantage of this great emerging ecosystem on that platform.
Did we have a show that we orange? Did we?
Yeah, it's funny. We for the Kids Network, we adapted Annoying Orange to TV, and it didn't really work. It worked for a second, but then it was like, oh, we shouldn't have done that. So, I don't think that's the right approach, is to take something on YouTube. I think YouTube's its own thing, and it's more, to me, what it is, and you run a channel so you know better, is it's a personal connection to people. It's a different kind of media than scripted television or even reality television. And to me, it seems more like now, in terms of how I see it being used, is how I used to use the radio. That's how I feel like it. Like you're doing something else and listening to YouTube. That's how I see the consumption kind of going. And then you check over. But it's either, to me, it's like having a friend, or that's what the majority of stuff on YouTube is. It's a person I want to check in with daily and hear from and hear about their points of view and share with them. Or it's like background, it's radio, it's kind of an ambient thing is how I see it now. And it's not scripted comedy. So I see it as a different kind of consumption pattern.
Hi, my name is Ed Rivero. I have two questions, one for Michael, one for Peter. I guess we'll go with the easiest one about Hulu. The first question that I have, I guess, from the marketing perspective, why go from Hulu to Hulu Plus back to Hulu? Was it hard to marketing the whole Hulu Plus? And the second question related to Hulu was, why specifically now go to the whole no advertisement? I feel like it should have been that from the start, but it's kind of like that line that I don't get it, why Hulu didn't do the whole switch, and it's now you have at least the option. So for like $2, why still keep like advertisement wise?
So the first part, when we went from Hulu to Hulu Plus, that was started, again, when we were 100% desktop, and then we started to put the media on mobile, tablet, and just trickled into living room. In order to gain access to those platforms, we said, let's do a subscription. So that was the plus. But as the viewership tilted and shifted to be the majority off the desktop, it felt like having these brands didn't make a lot of sense, and it was hard to market. It was confusing to the consumer. The other thing that happened, we had a change in the CMO office, so she said, I'm going to change it and go with a one brand. Because when we market one brand and users come to check us out, then they're given that choice of how do you want to experience Hulu, which option do you want to choose from. We have, as a business, we have the luxury of having a dual revenue stream. We have the subscription revenue and advertising revenue. And because we're doing conventional TV, and it's a format that a lot of people are comfortable with, now that we have a limited commercial plan for $7.99 and a commercial-free plan for $11.99, all of a sudden that $7.99 plan acts as an anchoring effect, and people know why the cost is what it is. And since we launched this new commercial-free plan, which is not even 40 days old, we've seen that the majority of the people who come in the last 40 days are still choosing a commercial-free plan. And our research, getting back to how data should inform your judgment calls, the data showed us that most people don't really hate ads, despite what you might read. Most people hate irrelevance. And so what we're trying to do is recognize that we can do better at serving ads to people, like don't serve cat food ads to people who don't own cats and so on and so forth. So we can do better at serving ads so the advertising isn't as intrusive. Again, with our lighter commercial load, that's helpful. But again, we found that the people who would choose between limited commercial and no commercials, it wasn't really about their like or dislike of ads. I'm sorry, it was solely about their like or dislike of ads. It wasn't about age or gender or income. A lot of people thought, oh, the rich people will just go to the free service. And that wasn't true. It was really about the attitude and the acceptance of advertising. And most people will accept ads if they feel there's a reasonable value proposition. And again, our job is to make sure that the ad experience is reasonable. Hope that answers.
Yeah, it does. So the other question was a little bit related to Cartoon Network. I'm like in my middle 20s, so I'm still in the millennials. But I found like when we're doing data here in the advertisement, we know there's a lot of millennials that are like a lot of stuff from the past, like those values from the past. And I used to love Cartoon Network, like every Sunday waiting for, like the new Dexter Laboratory, all those really, I believe they have a lot of values, animation to say somehow. But now I feel for me, I stopped watching Cartoon Network because it feels like it's in a specific tribe. It's not more like general anymore. So so I just wondering, is there, like today, like looking to the future, if there is a place, a block to bring back, like Nickelodeon was trying to do, just bring back the block of like all content or similar content back?
Yeah, it's that's on Boomerang. So original Cartoon Network things that you grew up with are on Boomerang. So Dexter's Lab and all that. And we're bringing back Powerpuff Girls next. Yeah. And it looks awesome. And you'll recognize it. Be like, oh yeah, that's Powerpuff Girls. So that's in April. So yeah, it's funny. And we can talk after. But Boomerang is a digital tier network. And we're trying to figure out how to get bigger distribution for it. Because it's a beloved thing. But it's only in 40 million homes. So if you live here, which it sounds like you do, then I think it's on Comcast here. It's on Uverse, I know that. But we'll talk after. But the thing is, when you grow up with something, you have an emotional attachment to it and you don't want it to change. But Cartoon Network's job is to talk to kids of today. And so they're a little bit different than you are. So our content, you might not love all of it. But we're trying, we feel like the ethos of the old Cartoon Network is still in what we do today. But you're a man now. But we love you and we want you to watch because...
Yeah, but it's funny because a lot of millennials' favorite shows are like Friends and
right.
Seinfeld. And you look at Netflix bringing back Full House. Like the nostalgia is
it's a big
very,
thing.
very powerful.
Yeah.
We got last question over here.
Hey, my name is Jasmine Martin. I'm a branded entertainment major at SCAD. So I was wondering about how you feel that branded entertainment is taking over the advertising industry or working with advertising. Can you go into that?
You should switch majors. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. No, so NPR last, did you guys listen to, was it Marketplace? I don't know. NPR last night had someone from Times who wrote an op-ed piece about, she's cranky that there's product placement back in TV spots, TV shows again. And she's like, it's art, like just leave it as art. Someone's got to pay for the art, right? So it's funny because we're getting beat up for ad loads on regular TV. And then if you put product placement in the show, everyone's like, oh, wait a minute, you're commercializing my art. Well, yeah, we are. There's like 400 people who had to make that show. So I think that contextual advertising, if you give someone, everyone's been talking about this. If you are empathetic, if you're respectful to the viewer, and give them something entertaining and give them a message at the same time, generally everyone's cool with that, you know? So I think branded entertainment is cool. It just can't be so obvious or shilly or gross feeling. Like if you're feeling sick to your stomach doing it as a professional, no audience is going to buy it. You guys are all too smart. So it's got to come from a good place. And you've got it, like I love that campaign that you guys did for Giga Blast. Because it's empathetic, it's got a point of view, and it's like trying to say, hey, we're in this all together. Isn't this a cool thing? So I think there's a huge future in it, but it's not I don't know. It's not a one-stop solution either. You know what I mean? So I think people latch on to like trends. In a lot of ways, I think the TV ad model is going to go back to 1952, which is cleaner ad breaks, a show sponsored by somebody, a couple messages from that sponsor through a thing, and everything's cool, and they paid a lot of money for that. And or targeted stuff like, hey, Michael likes skateboards. I'm going to give him a skateboard.
Yeah,
2-minute piece, and I'll be like, yes, I'm going to buy that skateboard, and you made that.
In 1952, the average hour of television had 6 minutes of ads. And today it's up to 18 minutes, so it's just too much. Well, 22 if I count. But yeah, branded integration is alive and well. I mean, at Hulu, when we picked up the Mindy project, you know, we sold Lexus into integrated episode where she's taking a road trip, and Microsoft is integrated into the show as well. So there's a lot of room for mixing art and commerce in a way that's authentic. It's got to be authentic.
The only thing I would say, just tell a story. Everybody just wants a good story. So just figure out a way where that ad can tell a good story, make it relatable. These guys were able to convince people to go and get a higher bandwidth, and they made it tangible to the audience. So if you're in your young career, the best thing about it is you can try, and you can do it multiple times. You know, the technology allows you to test it and try it. But it's really the bottom line for me. Just tell me a story that's relatable to me by using the data to target me, and I'll sit there and watch every ad if it's a good story.
Great, let's give it up for our panel.